This video is to show you how to go back to the old rates on NSSF. However, I am not saying whether you should or should not. I still think you have to judge for yourself, bearing in mind that even if you go back to the old rates, how are we going to be able to do the return on the portal? Because that's another issue. Let's say you go back to the old rates. Are you going to be able to use the old rates when you come to do your return? Anyway, I'm going to show you how to go back. You will make the decision. Now, this was what Kanjama had said, that it's not FKE's place to say whether we're using the new or old rates. It depends on what is constitutional. However, I've looked at what a couple of legal firms have said, and it looks like that ruling was not final, because they are saying the effect of that ruling is that the old act remains in force. The new one is unconstitutional and guided by the old NSSF Act. However, they are also saying this position will apply until either the Supreme Court gives different guidance or the Court of Appeal delivers a final decision implementing the 2013 NSSF Act. So it looks like it's not a final position. And even when you read about what they are saying for employers, they are not giving us a direct guide and saying do this or do that. They say employers may need to consider the impact of the ruling on the current payroll. And even these other guys said something similar. I don't know if they were all reading from the same book, right? So they're saying you may need to consider. So you decide whether you want to. Just remember, if you do and then you have to then go back to the original position, it can get untidy and messy. Also remember there is the impact of NSSF on your PAYE. So if you revert back to the old NSSF rates and then you have to go back to the new ones, you also have to adjust your PAYE. So it's something to think about before you just do. Okay, so how do we do it? What I would suggest first is to run this PayslipMaker. Just do your payroll as usual, like this. So you copy previous and process and do whatever your changes are. Then come back to the home page and you need to change in two places. First, change on the calc rules, double click on NSSF Tier 2 to switch everybody off. Now, if there was someone already off, they'll be switched on when you do that. So you need to check that everybody is switched off. So that's step one. And make sure you're in June when you do that. Don't do it for an old month, right? And by the way, please look at this and make sure yours looks the same as this. Some people still have house levy relief on, and that's causing problems for them. All right, then the second place to fix is to come here to rates. So right now, NSSF is using the 2026 rates. So you want to revert to the original when PayslipMaker began. And actually, it's been the original since long ago. So we say, if I want to change this NSSF table to the original one, you can come here, select 1987, and click on this, set this as table for June. So if you click it, you'll see in June, it will be 1987. If you go back to May, it's still on 2026. So that's one way to do it. The other way would be, if I go back to how it was originally, you can actually just come here and type 1987 like this. All right, so do those two things. So once you've changed your calc rules and your rates, come back here. Now we've not processed, so let's take a look at NSSF is now, so that's using the current rates. So if I process after making those two changes, and you come here again, you'll see that it has gone to 200. And if you look at a payslip, let's go to a payslip. You should see 200 appearing under the government deductions, 200, and also under the allowed is the 200, and also you should see here the NSSF contribution is 200. And then you should also see, let's see, Which one do we use? Steered report? Well, you have the 200s. I don't use PayslipMaker much anymore, so I'm forgetting. Yes, you have the 200s. Okay, so it has been updated correctly. So that's what you need to do. Change here, change there, but do it after you've processed the payslips.